Alrighty, welcome along, and let us. I am wondering if you can let me know, where are we at here? You should be able to now see my screen. Does anyone want to give me a thumbs up? Yep, awesome. Thank you very much. Very, very helpful to know that you can see my screen. My biggest fear tonight was that there would be some tech issues. Now, I work on Zoom all the time, but you know when you want to do something really well and you get some tech issues. Okay, so let me just let some more people in. Okay. Beautiful. Alrighty, welcome along. Preparing for a positive pregnancy and birth. As I've said, this will be recorded. Grab a pen and paper if you haven't already got one. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat box. There will be some space, some time at the end where we can have a bit of a Q&A session. But it will be a little bit tricky for me to be able to answer all the questions as we go. So save your questions up for the end. I'm more than happy to answer them. If there are any particular questions you'd like answered one-on-one, then I'm going to make sure you've got my email address so that you can contact me if you want to ask anything. So why are we here tonight, or why am I here tonight? I want to first up share with you, or start you to get thinking about why we think about birth the way we do, and how you can help yourself have a positive experience. My mission tonight is to help stimulate some questions for you and to help you find out more and to be able to make informed decisions. I also want to inspire you, and I want to show you and I want you to leave knowing how and what you can do to prepare for a positive birth. Okay, just letting some more people on in. Welcome if you're coming on in now. Okay, and please stay to the end because there is going to be a very beautiful relaxation and connection and breathing exercise for you to be able to do. Alrighty, if you take away nothing else from tonight, that is, there are two fabulous resources at your fingertips that you can access very easily. The book Positive Birth in New Zealand. If it's not in your local library, ask them to get it in, or you can grab it off my website. I'll tell you a little bit more about the book later, but a fantastic resource for you. The podcast, you may have already tuned into the podcast. There are probably about now 56 positive birth stories on the podcast. So you can listen to mums sharing all about their experience of birth, all positive stories, a complete variety of stories, because a positive birth doesn't mean it's any particular type of birth, but a birth where the parents came out feeling that it was a really positive experience for them. So there's those two resources at your fingertips all the time. So before we get started, just tell you a little bit about who I am, why I'm here. So I'm Helen, and it's lovely to see you all here tonight. I'm founder of Positive Births, creator of New Zealand's hypnobirthing program. And yes, I wrote the book Positive Birth in New Zealand. It was my baby in 2020. It took about 9 months to gestate, write, and publish. Yes, I also host the Positive Births New Zealand podcast, which has just been a fabulous experience, very time consuming, but I absolutely love connecting with the parents that I teach after they have their babies for them to share their stories. I've been teaching hypnobirthing since 2007, so that's quite a long time now. 16 years, never thought I would do it that long, but yeah, I won't stop. I'm an also certified hypnotherapist. I've got 3 children, and I'm also a nana now too. So this is a picture of my 3 kids. Bottom picture there, we've got, well, my oldest in the bottom picture, she's in the grey. That's Jess, she's 21. Then we've got Jack, he is 17, and our youngest, Millie, she is 13. So I want to tell you a little bit about what brought me here and what brought me on this journey. And it was my first pregnancy with Jess. So this is a picture of her just after she was born. That was one of the first pictures that we took of us together. And in my first pregnancy, I have to share with you, in my first pregnancy, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing of what I am going to share with you tonight. Absolutely nothing at all. And I didn't know that I could ask questions. I didn't know that I should ask questions. I just followed my midwife's lead, and I didn't ask about what I needed to know. I didn't really know what I needed to know. And at the end of my pregnancy, I went to 41 weeks, as so many first-time parents do. And I was still pregnant. My midwife said, right, if you haven't had your baby by Tuesday, we'll book you in for an induction. And so on Tuesday morning, I showed all the signs of labor starting. And it just was very gentle, very gradual through the day. My midwife came to my home. She checked me. She said, all good, labor started, but we have an appointment at 6 o'clock tonight. So I will see you at the hospital then, because you're booked in for an induction. Now, I didn't even think to ask what would happen if I just let my body do this naturally. We were booked in, so I followed her instructions, turned up at the hospital at 6 o'clock that night, and all they wanted to do there was speed up my labor. Now, what happened was they gave me synthetic oxytocin, syntocinon, they popped it into me, and my labor went from a beautiful, slow, rolling, gradual, gentle labor into super fast, super hard. I had absolutely no tools or no idea of what to do. I was gripping the chair. I was doing all of this. I was just like, it wasn't, shall we say, it was an overwhelming experience. And so my midwife said, right, okay, well, next up, we'll give you pethidine. It made me feel disgusting. And she said, okay, well, and this is only a few hours later, she said, right, well, we'll get you an epidural. And so what I didn't know at that point in time was that my body and my baby knew exactly what needed to happen. My body was progressing beautifully. They gave me an epidural, and it wasn't long after that my body had fully dilated and my baby was ready to come down, but I couldn't feel a single thing. So I had my midwife coaching me, telling me when to push. I had no idea what I was doing. And then she looked at her watch and she goes, right, okay, well, you've got half an hour to get your baby out before I'll get the obstetrician in and he'll get your baby out for you. And I was like, wow. Now, all of this had happened in a relatively short time. 1:30 in the morning, my baby girl was born. And we didn't need the obstetrician. He came in to the doorway just as she was coming out into the world. And, had I known differently, had I known what I knew now, I knew I didn't need any interference. I didn't need my body to be shunted, pushed into labor like that. My midwife congratulated me on a great birth. And away we went. Away we went to birth care. Now I'm just going to share the screen again because I'm going to show you another photo now, because it was a few years after that I was pregnant again, and this time I decided, whoops, we won't go to be quite that soon. Whoops, we're going, oops, hang on. Oh dear. No. Okay. So it was a few years after that I was pregnant with baby number 2. I chose a very different midwife this time. I knew what I wanted. I'd learned from the experience of what I didn't want. And so this time I was like, let's have a completely natural birth. I know my body and my baby can do this. So I was introduced to the hypnobirthing course in my second pregnancy with Jack. And at the time, 2005, nobody knew what hypnobirthing was. I was just super lucky that my auntie knew what it was. She went to Australia in 2005, trained to teach the program, came back and showed me, or shall we say, took me through a kind of a version of the program. And I found it to be super, super helpful in my labor and my birth, because what it meant was I had tools and techniques to be able to work with. I knew how to relax. Instead of someone saying to me, well, just relax, I knew how to relax. I knew exactly what I could do. My midwife, she took this photo when Jack was born, because she said, the experience for her had been such an amazing experience. She says it looked like I had an epidural. And out comes Jack, and this is when he's about an hour old. She lays him on me and she says, can I please take a photo of you? Now, I had no idea. I've ended up showing this photo to so many people. Here he was, this great big boy that had come out of me. Now, as you may be able to tell from some of the photos previously, I'm just a tiny 5'0". So my daughters were taller than me when they were 11. A lot of some 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds could be taller than me. And here's Jack. He's a big, beautiful, healthy 4.4 kilos or 9 pounds, 11 ounces. And my midwife was just absolutely astounded. I got him out of me absolutely fine. It was about between a 5 or 6 hour labor and birth. And I said to my auntie, this hypnobirthing stuff rocks. This is awesome. I said, you're going to be quite popular. I think this program might take off. But what ended up happening was she didn't do too much with it at all. She ended up training and working with in the fertility world and has some amazing success helping couples get pregnant. And it was in 2007 that I trained to teach the hypnobirthing program. And since then, I have taught, probably we're getting up to 1,700 couples. I've taught them the hypnobirthing program. I've also trained to be a hypnotherapist. And I also I do a lot of work with pregnant couples. So I kind of specialize in the world of pregnancy, birth, parenting. I run an amazing course called the Calm Mama class for parents who are starting to tear their hair out, or shall we say, giving them emotional resources, emotional techniques. And I also do hypnotherapy for a whole lot of other reasons, all listed on there as well. So that is a little bit about me. I would love to know a little bit about you. Please pop in the chat box. Are you pregnant right now? When is your baby due? Or are you planning a pregnancy? Is it your first baby? Is it your second or subsequent baby? I want to know, I'd love to know if you're pregnant, when your baby's due, and if it's your first baby. July the 8th, first baby, excellent. 31 weeks, June, November, beautiful. 26th of May, we're in that last month there, Libby. Early October, wonderful. 29th of May, June, May. 26th of August, beautiful. 11th of July, 14th of May. Oh, not long to go. 14th of May. October the 9th, first baby. 35 weeks, first baby boy. Second pregnancy due end of September. Fabulous. Awesome. So we've got a few May dates, a few June dates. We've got a few people at the end of their pregnancy. And do you know what? It doesn't matter whether you're here 11 weeks. Awesome. 3 weeks time. October, great. Oh, wonderful. So there's so many, such a variety of dates. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're here right at the end of the pregnancy, in the middle, or at the beginning, because I have information and resources for you all. Okay. What do I want to know now? What's coming up for you? What thoughts come up for you? What do you think of when you think of giving birth? Just feel free to be really honest and open. What thoughts are coming up for you when you think about having to give birth? This baby coming on out into the world. What's the first things that pop into your mind? There's no right, there's no wrong. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Okay, can I do this? Yeah. Yeah, that was me. Can I do this? Do you know what my strategy was? I didn't think about it. my first birth. Oh, look, let's not think about it. Let's just get it over and done with. Let's not even think about it. And so as a result of not thinking about it, of course, I didn't prepare for it today to know what was going on. Second time I thought about it. Second time I played. Now third time, oh my goodness, my third birth was beautiful. I've written about it in the book here, written all about my third birth experience, and 3 hours from start to finish in the water. I was so pleased. I had a water birth the third time round. Yeah, okay. Contractions, pain, yeah. Painful, yeah. The unknown, yeah, it is. There's so much unknown. And that's one of the hard things about labor and birth, is that, you know, we don't know exactly how things are going to play out. We can't prepare or plan for, you know, okay, we've got an estimated due date, but it's very normal, you know, for your baby to arrive anytime between 37 weeks and 42. So what stage of the month is baby going to come? What's labor going to be like? How long is it going to last for? Anxious and thrilled at the same time. Yeah, that's a great combo of well, anxious. Yeah, it's normal to be a little bit anxious. We really want to curb that anxiety and maybe release some of that anxiety, but thrilled, yeah, it's an exciting time. I was sorry to hear that you had a difficult first birth, Nicola. Yeah, and that I do end up working with a lot of mums who have had a difficult first birth. They now, you know, they've got a reason to be concerned about the next one. And I tell you what, I've got some fabulous stories on the podcast of mums having wonderful second births. How beautiful, love it. Oh, trauma, I don't like to hear. Okay, I hear you. Loss of control, yes. That's a lot of people come along to my classes and say that they're worried about the fact that, you know, they might not be in control. And that's a fair call. You know, we can't control so many circumstances of our labor and birth, but we can control the way we respond to it. And that's where I'm helping people to learn tools and techniques to help them respond to what occurs, you know, what curveballs might come in. And some people, you know, have these beautiful, straightforward births, and some women have to deal, or some couples have to deal with these curveballs that are coming along. And we can't control what life throws at us, but we can control how we respond to it. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Imagining Brennell's baby out. Beautiful. Excellent. Calm experience. Yeah, not losing my, yeah. Cool. Excited hoping to have a home birth. Awesome. I hope you do have a home birth. That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Alicia, no pain that comes from inside me can be bigger than me. Beautiful belief. Beautiful belief. Absolutely. You can do this. Okay, so we've got a real mixture of comments. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you just need to believe it. And that's what I work with, getting those thoughts into the belief system. Yeah, we need to believe them. So you know, though these comments reflect, you know, everything that I'm hearing all the time. So a variety of thoughts, and, you know, why? Why do we have so much fear? Why are we worried about the pain? Why do we have doubt about our bodies? Why are we concerned about, you know, this loss of control? Why is that anxiety? You know, why do we come into this stage of life and we're not overly confident about our bodies? And there's so many question marks, and there's so much doubt, and there's so much concern, and there's so much worry. And sadly, there is so much fear. And so I really want you to think, you know, what have you heard about birth growing up? What stories have you heard? You know, what have you seen in the movies and TV? I mean, and here we go. I've got those pictures on the screen for a reason. Have you ever seen mainstream media portray birth in an empowering, calm, beautiful, relaxed way? Sadly not. And if you haven't yet seen beautiful, magical, calm, wonderful, positive births, and I'm going to show you where you can find some links to have a look at those, that might completely change your perceptions about what birth can be. Because all too often the stories that we've heard have been the drama stories. Everybody loves to share a dramatic story. It makes for, makes for good goss. Makes for good talking about, and it's fair to say also a lot of people, a lot of women who have had an unpleasant, or shall we say even traumatic experience, want to get it off their chest. Now, in your pregnancy, it's not the time to be taking on board other people's stories. So if you're finding that some people are starting to overshare with you or have been oversharing with you, really important for you to create some boundaries, because someone else's birth story doesn't have to be yours if it's not a good story. Okay, so shall we say we've often grown up in a culture where all we've heard is the drama. Okay, all we've seen on TV is yelling and screaming in an emergency situation, and lots of strangers in a room supporting a mother who's just, the look on the face down below, So all too often that shapes our perceptions, it shapes our beliefs about what birth is. And, as humans, we've got this beautiful primal instinctive brain of ours, which is also wired up to protect us from those worst case scenarios. We love to have certainty, and, wouldn't it be nice if you could know that your baby was coming on this particular date at this particular time, and the labor was going to be exactly this amount of hours? And it's fair to say that, because we love certainty of an outcome, or we love certainty of a situation, in certain countries, a plain C-section is very appealing because of that certainty. Okay. But, we've often been wired to prepare for the worst, but conditioned to prepare for the worst. Think about the things that people have said to you all your life, be careful, don't climb this, you'll fall over, or you'll fall out of that tree. Don't run across the road, you'll get run over. Careful of that sharp knife, you'll cut yourself. When it gets to pregnancy, don't eat sushi, your baby will die. It's constantly, we are being constantly told about the worst case scenarios, and there's a part of our brain that wants to prepare for the worst case scenarios. But what's birth's greatest enemy? The biggest thing that can get in the way, the biggest thing that if we can, that we can personally influence, if it's left unchecked, it can create a lot of issues. The biggest enemy to your birth is in fact fear. And so, let's go and jump in the chat box. Is there anything that you're fearful of relating to this time in your life? It might not just be birth. It might be, how am I going to cope with 2 babies? How am I going to breastfeed? Am I going to cope with lack of sleep? That was one of my big fears. What's it going to be like with, when I don't get enough sleep? Am I going to go? Or, are you worried about coping financially? Are you worried about fitting another person into your life? Or, or is it just about the birth? Please feel free to jump on and just share with me and share with others, because we're not alone in this. We've all got fears. We've all got doubts. We've all got concerns. Is it the fact that, oh my goodness, what if I have to face a needle? What if it's the sensations? What if my body doesn't do what I think it's going to do? Or, those types of things. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, the sensations, yeah, hemorrhaging, yeah, okay. Tearing, yeah, so many people are, yeah, overbearing grandparents. Okay, that's something that's there, yeah. I know a lot of people who've had to deal with that, and boundaries, emergency intervention, yeah, tearing, someone to care for my other kids, yeah, the support, do I have the support network? Yeah, another one, no family support. Yeah, that's, and it's tricky. That's where we've got to reach out to our, if there's anyone else that that can help. Unexpected health issues, baby, yeah, big worries. Yeah, losing myself in motherhood. Yep. Postnatal depression. Okay, fear of using my voice. The doctors, please do not fear using your voice. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that tonight. You know, like you are is your baby, your birth, your body. You're allowed to question everything. Yeah, the mental load. Posterior baby. Okay. Interesting, Nicola. My second baby, the big one, my boy. We started out labor. He was in a posterior position. And my midwife knew as soon as I said to her, all I could feel was in my back. And she gave me some really good exercises or movements to do to move him around. So if this is, I'm picking up having another posterior baby, if this is your second baby, jump onto spinningbabies.com if you haven't already found that. And also know that if it's your second baby, there's a little bit more wiggle room often in there. Second babies can move around quite easily, and you want to be getting into positions at the end of your pregnancy to help avoid that baby settle into a posterior position. Okay. Oh dear, Annie, this is a topic that is close to my heart. I work with a lot of people who've had same concerns as you. My midwife says my baby is quite big. Now, you saw that picture just before of me with my baby, and I'm tiny, and he was like friggin' half the size of me. And my beautiful midwife never said anything to me, and I'm so grateful. She just said you got a beautiful, healthy baby in there. Yeah, and so it's really, really hard when your midwife is not giving you that, or shall we say, is creating those doubts. Not every big baby turns into shoulder dystocia. Not every baby. A sweep. Okay, don't have to have a sweep. Don't have to have a stretch and sweep. Your body, your baby, your choice. Okay, so there's lots of things, and it's very normal to have those anxieties, worries, things that you're nervous, things that you're fearful about. But we really want to make sure that where possible we can reduce them or completely release them. Because, you know, how is this going to impact on our experience? First up, if we're nervous, frightened, worried, you know, constantly anxious throughout our pregnancy, our baby's actually feeling that from 6 months onwards. They're feeling what you're feeling from the hormones in your body. So our baby's feeling that. Our body is also feeling it. And this is something that I talk about in my courses about mind-body connection, because everything that's going on in our mind, our body is picking up on. And so we don't want to be telling our body, I'm frightened, I'm nervous, I'm worried, because the body is literally instinctively going to then move into this, oh, let's brace ourselves against this scary, complicated, horrible, nasty birth experience. Okay. Fear in labor will trigger this fight or flight state that we have. We have this innate, primal, instinctive, amazing, incredible system in us, which is designed to keep us safe in an emergency. You will have all experienced fight or flight at some stage in your life. There's also freeze and appease, which come in the same bundle, part of our nervous system response. And let me just say, in labor, that fight or flight state, that freeze state, it's the biggest hindrance to us because it can affect our birthing muscles. Now, you have, ladies, the most effective, efficient muscles in your body, which are your uterus. Okay, the muscles of your uterus, the most efficient and effective and wonderful muscles that you have in your body. But if you are frightened, if you're nervous, if you're operating at the fight or flight state, they're not going to be able to work the same way as if you are calm and relaxed. Okay. When we are fearful, it can result in us making decisions that we regret later. It can mean that all we do is not question, or we just go with what somebody tells us is going to be the easiest. We don't make questions, or shall we say, we don't make decisions from a place of confidence and trust, and instead we make all our decisions based from the fact that we're fearful and we're worried. So fear can really have a big impact. And I am really passionate about helping pregnant mums release, reduce, get rid of their stress, their fear, and their anxiety, so that you can go into birth feeling a much better way. And so right now, if you've got a pen and paper, grab it, because I want you to start thinking about, how do you want to feel about your birth? How do you want to feel about your birth? Do you know what type of birth you'd like? And you know that could be any type of birth, but do you know what type of birth you'd like? And whatever type of birth that is, do you feel prepared and equipped to be able to do that? And what preparation are you doing? What are you doing to work towards the type of birth that you do want? So, I really want you to ask this question of yourself. How do you want to feel about your birth? And it's not how do you want to control your birth or exactly how your birth's going to play out, because unfortunately, we can't control that. Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel fully informed? Do you want to feel supported by your partner, anyone else coming to the birth, your LMC? Do you just want to feel safe, calm, relaxed? The ability to trusting your body, your baby, your partner, your LMC? Do you want to feel that you just want the ability to flow with how things go? That feeling of, I can just flow, I can surrender. If you're excited, I think it was power that came up before. Do you want to feel powerful? Do you want to feel capable? So just thinking about how it is that you do want to feel about your birth. Write those words down. And then ask yourself, do you know how your body works through labor? Do you know how your body works through labor and birth? But most importantly, do you know how to work with your body? Do you know how to prevent yourself from tensing up? Do you know how to prevent yourself from bracing yourself against these sensations, which, we don't experience these every day? Do you know how to work with your body? Because what if this was you? What if this is Therese, just had a baby at home in the bath? What if that was looking, oh my goodness, I did it. It's such an amazing feeling. What if it all works out just the way you wanted it to be? What if you did feel confident and proud? This is Z. This is her second baby. She had a VBAC, a vaginal birth after cesarean. So this is her saying, yes, I did it. This is Tash, her second home water birth. And you can see the look on her face. She's just absolutely delighted with her very relatively, very smooth, but relatively fast birth at home. What if this was you just relaxing, calm, peaceful, fully in control of your breath, your breathing, your state of relaxation? This is Ash in her pool at home. This is Jess welcoming her first baby. This is Janelle. She defied all the odds. This is another VBAC story, actually. She had a cesarean first time round. She came and did the course with me. She was 44. And everyone said she couldn't have a VBAC at home. And she said, well, I'm going to have a VBAC at home. She did. What if you too could just do it? And what if someone had told you way back years ago, what if they taught this in schools? If they taught us females in schools things like, hey, guess what? Birth is a peak bodily performance for which our bodies are superbly designed, because our bodies are superbly designed for this. Sarah J. Buckley, I love her. She's a Kiwi. She grew up in Whangarei, became a GP. She's now one of the world's leading researchers and speakers about natural birth and the hormones of natural birth. Now, there's a few books I'm going to recommend to you if you read. And if you don't read, just look her up and listen to some of her podcasts. What she doesn't know about the hormones of birth is it worth knowing, and actually she's embarked on a 12-year PhD to study the hormones of birth. She could be the first person in the world to complete a PhD in the hormones of birth. So listening to her is just listening to all this incredible information about, hey ladies, guess what? We were completely designed to have babies, and guess what? You know, we wouldn't be here. Humans wouldn't be here if we couldn't birth our babies. You know, we wouldn't have got this far. And so our bodies, your body, is superbly designed to give birth. Another one of my favorite quotes, Ida May, another great book to read, Ida May's Guide to Childbirth. Guess what? There's no other organ quite like the uterus. If men had such an organ, they would brag about it. And I bet you've never been told how amazing your uterus is. And if you want to know more about it, I talk a fair bit about it in the course I teach, but it's also written about in my book. You might read it in some other literatures, but I want you to know how well your body is designed to work. Okay. Has anyone explained how your body works? I mean, I know that your midwife knows all about how beautifully your body works, or your obstetrician, or whoever your LMC is, but they don't actually have the time to sit you down and go through this step by step. They're like, you're going to be fine. It's going to be great. You know, go away and learn some more information. They simply don't have time. And sadly, you know, your midwives are stretched to capacity. They do such an incredible job. But they don't have time in every appointment to tell you every thing that, you know, would be helpful for you to know. They'll tell you what you need to know. And, you know, antenatal classes, fantastic information in antenatal classes. Yes, absolutely. But not many people learn in antenatal classes how exactly you can work with your body, because birth is a normal, natural, physiological process. It totally is. But it's up to you to seek out the information that's going to empower you. It's up to you to seek out the information that's going to make you feel good and confident. And, you know, you're going to need to look outside the box often to be able to help change your beliefs, or improve your beliefs, or help you get the skills and the tools that you need to work with this process and to understand it a little bit better. Because finding out about how your body works, finding out how you can work with the process, understanding what your options are, really is giving you power. And if knowledge is power, finding out about more things is power, then knowledge about yourself, your body, your baby. You know, if they taught us these empowering things when we were a lot younger, we would grow up with this belief, you know, our bodies have this innate wisdom. Our bodies are designed to birth. You've got these beautiful muscles of the uterus. You've got all these fantastic hormones. Let them naturally flow. You know, if you knew about all this, and you probably will be learning about this on your journey now, that's really self-empowerment. You know, and how does it feel to think about feeling empowered? How does it feel to think about those words that you wrote down before about how you wanted to feel? Was it confident? Is it safe? Is it relaxed? Is it the ability to trust, the ability to flow? Is it the ability to cope? What is it? Because I want you to think about how it feels to think about feeling that way, because if you can feel that way, and you can imagine how it feels to feel that way, what's going on in the mind has a huge impact of what plays out in the body. And whether you realize it or not, the mind-body connection is super, super powerful. You know, everything we think about, every emotion we have, every suggestion that we entertain, there's a corresponding physiological and chemical response in our body. Most of the time we're not aware of it. You'll be aware of it in certain situations where you think of something and your anxiety goes, and you feel that pressure in your chest, or that lump in your throat, or that sick feeling in your stomach, or whatever it is. You know, you'll feel it in extreme situations, but it's actually happening all the time. So imagine if you spent the rest of your pregnancy thinking, I can do this. I can feel calm. I can feel confident. I can feel relaxed. Then your body's starting to take on board those powerful messages. And starting to, and your body is listening to the mind constantly. And there's a scientist, a very famous scientist, Bruce Lipton. I don't know if you have heard of him, but he talks about our body being made up of 50 trillion cells. Okay, 50 trillion cells. That community of cells is governed by one single thing, that's the mind. Our mind is constantly impacting on the way that our body responds. And so we want to think about how we want to feel, and we want to start to believe that too. So what is a positive birth? You know, what exactly is a positive birth? And it doesn't have to be a birth that goes exactly the way that you thought it would. Because you might think, oh, well, a positive birth goes, you know, this is the birth that I want to have, and it goes exactly to plan. And sadly, we can't control all aspects. We can influence, we can't control all aspects of our birth. So not everyone's birth goes exactly the way that they plan. Some people's divert off, you know, this way onto that railroad track and back again and this way, and they end up on a different course. What makes up, or what consists of a positive birth? Because basically, you know, we are biologically designed to birth our babies. You have everything you need within you, but I'm going to say this is one of my favorite quotes that I made up. You have everything you need within you to do this. You do. I believe you do. But you don't want to leave it to chance. It's like you have everything you need within you to run a marathon. Of course you do. You could go out there tomorrow and run 42 Ks. How would it feel if you haven't trained, if you haven't got your mind into it? You know, if someone just says, go run 42 Ks, yes, some people could do it. Some people could do it. But most of us would need to do a heck of a lot of mental, physical, emotional preparation to be able to do that. So you want to be thinking about what mental, physical, emotional preparation can I do to help myself to be able to achieve a positive birth. You know, a positive birth might be one that goes exactly the way you planned it, but really a positive birth is one where you feel safe, you feel supported, where you feel loved. Okay, any guys that are listening or any partners that are listening, that's your job. Help love her, support her. A birth where you feel respected. A birth where you have tools and techniques to be able to draw on, to be able to use to help you to your advantage. A positive birth is one where you feel calm and relaxed, free of fear. How good would it feel to feel free of fear? Positive birth where you know what questions you want to ask, or you know what questions to ask, your partner knows what questions to ask too, so that you can make empowered and informed decisions. Essentially, so that you are driving the train. You don't get in the train and get someone else to drive you through the birth. You want to feel in control of making the decisions, of making informed decisions. Positive birth is one that you can look back on and know that you did the best that you could at the time. Okay. With what you knew. Okay. We don't know what we don't know, which is why hopefully you're here, because I want you to learn more. Okay. But whatever you do know, look back on, you know, you want to look back on this birth and know you did the best that you could with the circumstances that you faced at the time. So how? How do we achieve this? Because that's what you want to know. It's all very well and good knowing what you need to do, but how? How do we go about this? Okay, first of all, beliefs. We need to kind of take a stock take. Where are our beliefs at? What are they currently? Are your beliefs helpful? You know, are they going to help you achieve what it is that you want to feel? Okay. You want to feel powerful? Can you believe that you're powerful? Absolutely. You know, but is your belief maybe, oh, you know, people have told me all my life I've got a really low pain threshold. Oh, you know, so I don't think I'm going to be able to handle this. Is that a belief that's going to help you? Okay. Some people I meet have a belief that needles are dangerous. They're terrified, traumatized by needles. Is that a helpful belief? Okay. You know, ideally, you might be planning on having a birth that's free of any intervention. But, you know, is that belief system serving you at the moment, or do you want to change that? Do you want to release that fear, release that belief? Are you open to a new idea of how birth could be? You know, have you always kind of heard negative stories? What has your mum told you, your grandmother? What is your aunties, your cousins, your sisters? You know, if they're all negative stories, you know, I've worked with some people whose beliefs are, well, everyone in my family's had a C-section. How am I going to have the vaginal birth that I want? Okay, now they came along. Oh, I've got some great stories of, you know, two ladies that I know that, you know, basically everyone in their family had C-sections. These two ladies were both being born by C-section. You know, I want to change this belief. I want to change the generational, you know, way we birth. And they were both able to go on and have vaginal deliveries, which was just a huge accomplishment. You know, and they had to get that mindset and the fact that I can do this. It doesn't matter that anyone else in my family hasn't done this. I can do this. So, you know, maybe you need to see some births where they are calm, quiet, relaxed. You know, maybe you need to watch some positive birth stories. Now, I do have some on my website. If you go to my website and you go to resources, you'll find a whole set of resources there, a list. And I will pop it into an email for you after we've finished the session, probably tomorrow. Send you an email with the important links of where to find stuff. Okay. You know, what if you could see some births that were completely different to how anyone had described or you'd seen on TV before? Or even what if you want to listen to some positive birth stories? What if you want to listen to mums who feel that they have had a positive birth experience and how it was for them? Would that help change your idea of what birth is like? Would that help you get into a better mindset? You know, what information do you need to help support you to understand? You can have the birth that you want to have, or you can do everything that you can to prepare for the birth that you want. You know, learn about what your body is capable of. And sometimes we need to hear this information over and over again. Sometimes it needs to be repeated to sink into us. You know, these books here, all available in the library. It's not like you have to go and buy them, but if you buy them, obviously, you can take long to read them. Gentle Birth, Gentle Mothering by Sarah J. Buckley, Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. Though in my book, Positive Birth book, I quote Sarah Buckley a lot. I quote Ina May Gaskin. I quote all the people that are most important in promoting a normal, natural, you know, positive birth. I want you to learn all about how your hormones are so amazing. Now, if you're not a reader, jump onto some podcasts. I was listening to, I think, for the 4th time in the last few months to Sarah J. Buckley's interview on the Midwife's Cauldron. She's the one that talks all about hormones. You know, when you listen to her, you can get a really good feeling about the fact that she knows what she's talking about, but she knows exactly all these, the amazing way that our body's designed to work, and it can work. You might want to listen to some positive birth stories on my podcast, The Positive Birth in New Zealand. That's on Spotify. Down to Birth Show, the Nurture Hub, the Natural Birth podcast. They're all promoting normal, natural, positive birth. And when I say, you know, positive birth, also it's not always birth that goes exactly the way mums thought they would. Because yeah, I've definitely got stories on there where mums had emergency C-sections, unplanned C-section, inductions that mothers weren't planning for very good reasons. So you can listen to what made it positive for them in a situation that they weren't planning on. You know, what made it a birth that they look back on and they know that they could do the best. They did the best that they could do at the time. So surround yourself with information that's going to make you feel good. Surround yourself with information that's going to uplift you. Not information that's going to drag you down, not information that's going to get that anxiety ramped up or that nervousness, that tension, that fear. Okay, surround yourself with information that makes you feel good. So another way to prepare for a positive birth, I highly recommend releasing any fear. Okay, this is what I do with pregnant mums. I do it in my courses. I do one-on-one sessions. It is the most liberating, the most freeing, incredible experience to be able to just let go of the doubts, the concerns, the worries, the things that are weighing us down. And what comes to mind, one lady, she was Brazilian, beautiful lady, full of fear. I did the fear release exercise with her, and she opened her eyes and she goes, the monkey's off my back. That's how it felt for her. Okay, she felt like she had monkeys sitting on her back. They'd gone. People feel this incredible sense of relief. So, you know, see if you can mitigate, release, reduce the fears. How else you can prepare for a positive birth? Learn about how your breathing can affect the way that your body works, and learn about how to breathe to relax and how to breathe to work with those birthing muscles. Those muscles in the uterus, they need some oxygenated blood. They need oxygen to be able to do their thing. You know, if you can learn how to breathe with what your muscles are doing, then you are going to feel not only calmer, but more comfortable, and you're going to enable your body to work more efficiently and more effectively. Learn relaxation, and it's not just relax. It's not just, okay, well, I'm going to relax in my birth. You actually need to learn how to do it. You need to practice doing it over and over and over again. And when I say that, it's not that you have to practice it for months and months and months. I've taught women in 39 weeks pregnancy, had their baby within a week. I actually remember going through the course with one lady 2 days before she had her baby, and that was enough to make a huge difference. Okay, but practicing relaxation in your pregnancy is just really beneficial for you, really beneficial for your baby. But you want to be able to learn how to let your body go so that you can do it easily and quickly through your labor and birth. So that's second nature to you. I know how to relax. I know how to do this. And how to work with, it's all of that's about working with your body mentally. So getting your mind in the right place, getting rid of unnecessary fears, breathing, relaxing. Support, this is a big one. Okay. You know, if you can, get your partner right on board with you. So he or she, whoever your partner is, whoever your birth support person is, get them on board so they know exactly what it is that you do want, how you want to feel, how they can support you. So they know what your preferences are. This is a team, a real team effort. It's a team adventure. It's a team experience. You know, in most cases, you've created this baby together. And together, you can work together to get this baby out into the world, you know. So you need to be talking to your partner about, you know, what questions you want asked. If in the heat of the moment, you're so busy focusing on what's happening in your labor, you know, if you're needing to ask questions, your partner, your birth support person needs to know what questions to ask, how to advocate for you, how to stand up and say, this is what we want. These are our preferences, you know, asking good questions. You know, chat with your midwife as much as you can about what you want, how you want to feel, how you want to be supported. Don't be, I should say midwife and or obstetrician, whoever your LMC is. Ask them questions. Now, I just want to share with you at this point in time, you know, an example of a couple who really worked well together. And I just got this email just the other day, and it's too beautiful not to share. And this is from Emma, who had her baby 6 weeks ago. And she said that we really started working as a team when active labor started. And when the surges, that's what we use. We use surges or waves for the word contractions, when the surges were more pronounced. Ewan used the deeply relaxed hand on my shoulder. It's one of the tools I taught them to remind me to breathe and to relax my jaw. He reminded me to reset with the relaxed breaths. He counted out loud to help me maintain a steady breathing rhythm. As the surges increased, Ewan started counting down how many breaths I needed to do during each surge and actually doing the breathing with me. I found it essential to help me focus on right now, this breath, this surge. Our midwife was really supportive of hypnobirthing and commented at the end about how positive she found our teamwork through the experience. Ewan was empowered to help and have an active role in the birth, and I couldn't have done it without him. Just an example of how they worked together through that. So yeah, super important to, you know, really make it a team effort and get your partner on board as much as you can. Being curious. So another way to prepare for a positive birth, be curious and question everything. Absolutely. This is a time in your life not to do what I did in my first birth and not think about it, not know anything. Be curious. Ask. If you don't know something, ask. You know, question everything. If your midwife says to you, you know, we're just going to, next week when you come on in, we're just going to do a stretch and sweep, and you think, oh, I should know what a stretch and sweep is, but I'm not really sure. Be curious and ask. You know, question absolutely everything that you and your baby are going through. Trust your body and your baby. Listen to your intuition. Now that's also a big one, and that doesn't have to be woo-woo. Okay, listen to your intuition. Your intuition is exceptionally powerful in your pregnancy, life beyond with baby. You know, it is. Nobody knows your body as well as you do. Nobody can tune into your gut feelings like you can. How many times have your gut feelings been right? Trust that, because so many mums say that was the best thing, or so many mums look back on their births or look back on their pre-pregnant self and say their advice to their self of 9 months ago or a year ago or before they got pregnant was trust yourself, listen to your intuition. And just about every story that I have on my podcast, it was a question I ask. You know, what advice would you give to yourself pre-pregnancy? They're like, listen to your gut, trust your intuition. And so it's very, very powerful because your gut will often tell you. And when we are calm and relaxed, so not when we're up in our head and we're anxious and nervous and worried, etc., you know, our head can get away with things, but when we are calm and relaxed, we're in tune with our body, your gut will give you some really powerful advice. Okay, so be curious, question everything, trust in your body and your baby, listen to your intuition. Because do you and your partner, you and your birth support person, do you know what to ask? Do you know what questions you need to know to avoid unnecessary intervention? Now, I am not against intervention at all. Intervention can be, you know, if we need to have an epidural, if we need to have induction, if we need to have a C-section, it's amazing. We are so lucky to be able to have access to, you know, what we've got in the hospital system when and if we need it. Okay, when we need it, it's wonderful. But what about all the times where you might not need it, but it's being offered as a quicker way to get through things, or it's a little bit more convenient? Okay, because you do need to ask questions, and you do need to ask quality questions to receive quality answers in order to make quality, or shall we say good, informed, empowered decisions. You know, when we look at induction, and once again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong for induction when needed. You know, if you're in a serious situation, your baby needs to come out. Induction's amazing. Now, I've got some really good induction stories on my podcast and in my book. Okay, well, when you look about the fact that in 2019, 32.7% first-time mums had an induction, steadily increasing. Overall, it was only 19% in 2006. And we go back, induction has steadily increased. Why? Are we getting worse at going into labor? Are our bodies kind of, you know, failing us as we move through time? No. Google C-section in New Zealand. Now, once again, C-section is amazing. We are so lucky to have this when we need it. If our babies need help, if we are in an emergency situation, if we need to get baby out this way. Aren't we lucky? We've got that option. But why does it keep increasing? You know, our women's bodies become a lot more flawed than they were just 10 years ago? You know, between 1965 to 1985, C-section delivery rates went up over 400%. In 1970, 5.5% of babies were born by C-section. Why is it up to nearly 30% now? And that's, 29.8% across all of New Zealand. Auckland, you're looking over 30%. Why? Is it because we've forgotten how to birth our babies? Is it because we don't have the innate ability anymore? We do. What is it? What is it that's changed? Is it that it's, things are a little bit more cautious? The hospital system is a little bit more cautious. They might just, right, okay, well, this is not going exactly the way you planned. Let's pop, we can take you to theatre now. Might be in some cases. But it's about questioning if you want to avoid unnecessary or an unneeded intervention. You need to ask questions. Now, this I should have this in quote marks, actually. This comes directly from a midwife who was doing my classes for 2019. She was a wonderful person to have in the group. She just kept saying to everyone, remember, you can say no to everything. Remember, you can say no to everything because you can. And she just kept reminding, and as a midwife, she works in the system. And she was just telling everyone, you can say no to everything. You can. It's your body, it's your baby, it's your birth. And also your LMC needs you to ask the questions. Okay, if you find yourself in a situation that you're not really sure about, or a situation where oh my goodness, I'm in a situation here and they're recommending induction. They're saying my baby's a bit big, or my baby's a bit small, or maybe my blood pressure is going up a little bit high, or gestational diabetes, those types of, shall we say, unplanned for. You. Nobody plans to have gestational diabetes. Nobody plans to get high blood pressure or anything. Your LMC needs to give her professional advice. She is governed by the Midwifery Council. She is governed by the parameters of her license. Okay, she needs to work within the protocols, the rules and regulations of the hospitals. But at the end of the day, nobody can tell you that you have to do this. They can give you the advice, they can give you the recommendations. It's up to you to ask the questions. It's up to you to say, well, what would happen if we waited another couple of days? Now, your midwife, say, for example, you had gestational diabetes, your midwife might be, and I don't take this is not set in copy, but your midwife might, through her parameters or the obligations that she needs to fill, she might need to recommend you need to be induced before 40 weeks. Now, you can say, okay, well, that's fine. Let's go and do that. That's what's recommended. But do you know if you said to her, well, actually, I'd prefer to wait a couple of days? You can. She just needs to make a note that she has done her job. And I say LMC, I'm saying midwife, and I'm saying what I mean is, it might be an obstetrician or a midwife. They need to make a note that you have heard that advice, you've taken on board that advice, and your decision is to do something slightly differently. Because you can ask those questions so that you guys can make the decisions. But you need to ask the questions. She's not going to say to you, well, I need to tell you this, but, hey, on the side, you can also ask for this. It's not, they need to remain professional. They need to, and sometimes, that some LMCs are erring on the side of caution a lot. Erring on the side of caution. It's your job to ask a little bit more about that to understand exactly what situation you're in. And just before we get into the next part, just a little thought. People come out of birth, everyone has a different experience, and people that have had a difficult experience might say, well, I was traumatized by that. That was a birth that was traumatic. It means different things to different people. Only you get to decide whether you've had a negative or traumatic experience. Now, I have some stories on my podcast that some people would have said, well, that's a highly traumatic experience, it's a highly traumatic birth. But these people, these women, they said, no, it wasn't traumatic for me. The biggest reason a lot of women say that, a very difficult experience wasn't traumatic is that because they were able to ask the questions. They were able to make the decisions. They were able to be able to do what they needed to do to feel that the way they wanted to feel, even though their birth went on a completely different track. You know, they felt like they were the driver of the train, not that somebody got into that train and started driving it for them. So just a little thought about having an empowered and positive birth might just mean you asking more questions to make informed and empowered decisions. It might just mean that. So this is where you want to maybe want to write this down or take a photo of the screen. A really good way to, you know, to kind of figure out what questions do we need to ask here. Use your brains. This little acronym can help you. And do you know what I tell all the people who do my classes? Take a photo of this, put it on your phone. Have your partner, your birth support person, have it on their phone. Because guess what we have with us all the time? You might not have the piece of paper that you're writing it down on, but you'll probably have your phone. So we can look up our notes then. So if in the heat of the moment, you need to kind of think, okay, well, what on earth, what are the questions we need to ask? You know, it might just be something really, you know, you might find yourself in not a serious situation, but shall we say the situation where your midwife says to you, oh, you know, well, if you're still pregnant at week 41, come in next week, we'll do a stretch and sweep. And you're thinking, oh, well, I've kind of heard about that. It doesn't sound that serious, you know. Well, let me just find out. So what are the benefits? What are the risks? What are the alternatives to this? Do I need more information? What would happen if I did nothing? What would happen if I said no thanks? Do I need a second opinion? And you can use this for so many interactions with, you know, anytime you're interacting with the medical environment. I've used this a lot of times, not necessarily related to birth, but just as a way of sussing out what is it that I need to know to be able to make an informed and empowered decision, because you won't regret asking the questions. Okay, and that's where you feel differently about the birth. If you just let someone else jump on your train, your birth train, and make all the decisions for you, then often we come out of it feeling like, hey, somebody, you know, I had no power. I wasn't in control. Sometimes we just need this, you know, smallest of things to feel in control, and that's what makes us feel like we've had a positive birth. I thought about your birth environment. I'm coming back to Sarah J. Buckley again because she's such a legend. You know, her research on hormones shows that the environments that we feel best birthing in is an environment where we feel safe, where we feel supported, we feel private. Do you know the very same hormones that we release in birth, the very same hormones that need to build up and release in birth are in fact the very same hormones that release in us when we are creating a baby or practicing to create a baby. Okay, so a romantic environment is usually where we would go to, or shall we say, a safe environment. Think about the environment where you would feel most comfortable creating a baby. That's where the hormones, the beautiful love hormones, oxytocin, endorphins, that's where they flow so easily. So we want to think about setting up an environment where those hormones can flow. You know, how can we impact on the environment, and where would you feel most comfortable creating a baby here? So the start of your baby's journey, how did your baby get in there? You know, was it in a situation where, and even if you didn't conceive naturally, where were you practicing all those times? You know, an environment, not usually a sterile environment, and you know, where would you feel most comfortable birthing? And this is kind of chalk and cheese, but you can see the differences in the environment, just the subtle differences which make a huge difference. You know, the lighting, for one thing. You know, where would you rather be? Where are you going to feel most safe, supported? And in the movies, isn't it funny how they always show us that we're in a room with bright lights, strangers yelling at us, and we're yelling back, etc. So that's the right-hand side there. You know, that is not an environment where the beautiful hormones of birth are going to release as optimally as they're designed to. A little bit more like the situation on the left. What's the difference? because every fiber of your body is sensitive to safety in your labor. We have primitive animal instincts, as we always come back to. One of the most effective and powerful hormones that we need for labor to start to progress, we need in our labor, is oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is connected to our sense of smell. You know, what smells make you feel good? Does the smell of hospital make you feel good? I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad smell, but for a lot of us, we associate it with something not quite so positive. Or it might be that, you know, oh, I'm on alert when I'm in the hospital. So what smell could you use to make that primitive, instinctive, primal part of your brain feel safe? You know, what can you do to enhance the birth environment? Down the right-hand side there, this is Auckland Hospital. You know, what can you do to make it, if you're birthing in a hospital, if you've decided that's the best place for you, or you need to birth in a hospital, what is it that you can do? And you can change the lighting, you can add some smells, you can put on some nice music, you know, make it cozy as possible, so that that instinctive part of you knows that you are safe, so that those beautiful hormones can flow. When you start to prepare for a different birth, and when you change the way you see birth, the way you birth will change. That's a quote from the original founder of the hypnobirthing program. And on the right there, a beautiful picture of Sarah and Winnie. And Sarah is a fabulous example. Now, her story is on my podcast. If you want to listen to her story, she'll tell you how anxious, how nervous, how frightened she was of birth. It was just the most terrifying thing in the world for her to think about birthing a baby. Now, she did a complete 180. She came along, did the course, and was just a completely different person. And she has a beautiful, wonderful, amazing, incredible, normal, natural, fast, beautiful birth story. And it's just like, her story brought tears to my eyes, and the way that she was able to change. She changed the way she saw birth. She had just the most incredible birth for someone that had started off at some stage being so frightened and nervous. So she did my course. You're probably wondering, what is hypnobirthing if you don't know what it is? It's really, to describe it in a nutshell, a specialized antenatal course, providing practical tools and techniques for both you and your partner to help you achieve a calm, positive, empowered, and confident birth experience. And it's giving you skills for life with baby too. It's not just about birth, it's about pregnancy, birth, and life beyond. And so what you gain from doing this course is, you know, creating that positive mindset, getting into a better frame of mind, so it improves your thoughts and feelings and your beliefs about birth. And we give you definite specific tools and techniques to use through labor: breathing, relaxation, visualization, mindfulness, and specific things for birth partners, birth support people, to help facilitate that calm, empowering, and positive birth experience. Because when we are calm and relaxed, those hormones work beautifully. When we're calm and relaxed, the muscles of our uterus work just the way they were designed. And when we feel calm and relaxed, guess what? It feels more comfortable. Okay. I know that pain word came up earlier on. Yeah, a lot of people are worried about what's it going to feel like. Okay. We want it to feel as comfortable as it can be. You need to work with your body on that. So we learn in the course, you'll learn is how your body works, that the mind-body connection, and how to use that to your advantage. I'll teach you deep relaxation skills, specific breathing techniques for different parts or different stages of labor. A big part of the course for anyone with any fear or doubts is releasing fear, releasing those negative emotions. A range of tools your partner can use to support you. The benefits about connecting with your baby, making decisions, feeling confident with them. Practical tools that you can use after. Okay, practical tools that you can use in different areas of life and once baby arrives, and mindfulness techniques. It's not me telling you how to birth. Okay, so what it's not a set of rules on how your birth should be or look like, because I'm going to say, you know, I say to everyone I teach, I'm going to teach you some things. I'm going to share information with you. What you do with it is what you want. Okay, how you want to use it, make it your own, personalize it, take it away, make it yours. Use it for the type of birth you want, because it doesn't have to be for any specific type of birth. I'll have parents coming to the course that think they might have a C-section. The skills, the tools, the techniques are relevant for every and any type of situation. And of course, I have parents coming along saying, I want that home water birth. Okay, so any type of birth. It's not just about mum, not just about a birthing mother. It's for their partners too. Okay, and they can learn just as much as you do to use in their own lives, just like you can use the skills in your life too. Single mums come along, often they bring a friend, their mum or a sister or someone like that, but you can totally do it on your own. And I've said this, I'll say it again, it's not just for birth, because birth, really, if we think about it, birth, and it's a huge event. It's the most, incredible event, transformative event you go through in your life. Okay, you won't forget your births, the births of your babies. Okay, but it's a really short space of time. Usually, shall we say, pregnancy is 9 months, birth is 1 day, parenting lasts a lifetime. So these skills, these tools, I want you to be able to use them, not just for that 1 day, not just for birth, but for lots of different situations in life. And I have to address this. What's the hypno and hypnobirthing? Because a lot of people say to me, oh, it just makes it sound a bit woo-woo, it's a bit weird. And I'm just going to say to you, well, of course, I'm a hypnotherapist, so I really believe in this stuff. And I know exactly how it works and how you can use it to your benefit. But the hypno and hypnobirthing refers to hypnosis, refers to the state of self-hypnosis, which is a normal, natural state involving focused attention and relaxation. Now, you actually happen to be an expert at getting into this state because you do it all the time. It's exactly the same state that you get in every time you drift off to sleep and every time you wake up. That light dreamy state, or just that state of as your head hits the pillow, mind's still ticking over but starting to relax. It's exactly the same state that you get into when you become very focused in on a good movie and start feeling all the feels, the sadness, the laughs, the scariness. That's a state of hypnosis. It's exactly the same state that you've experienced in those times when you've been driving. Highway hypnosis. When you've been driving from A to B and your mind's somewhere else and there's a part of you that's driving, you've experienced exactly the same state in those situations. So you're already an expert. It's not difficult to achieve. But what we do is we get into the state to help you download the beliefs that you want to take on board, because when we get into that relaxed state, the most powerful part of our mind is alert and aware and ready to make changes, to make improvements, or ready to get rid of the negative stuff that you want to get rid of. Because when we're in our conscious, rational, logical, argumentative mind, that conscious mind of ours that we're operating out of all of the time, okay, it's really only responsible for 5% of our cognitive activity, or 5% of what carries on in our lives. What's actually running the show is the 95% of the bottom of the iceberg. So that iceberg obviously represents your mind. The bottom of the iceberg's running the show. What beliefs, what programs, what ideas do you have installed in there? Are there some better ones? Do you want to upgrade the programs in there? Do you want to believe that your body has the ability to birth? Not just say, okay, my body has the ability to birth, but actually believe it and have your body take it on board, because whatever is downloaded into that beautiful part of the bottom of the iceberg, that's what your body responds to. So really what we're doing is we're getting it into the most powerful part of your mind so that it can play out on automatic pilot in your birth. That's right, automatic pilot. So that primal instinctive part of your brain has got some really good belief systems, some really good habits behind it, and you can just go straight into action. So that's the benefit of getting into that relaxed state. So yeah, tools for pregnancy, birth, life, you and your partner. Heaps of benefits, and people just tell me all the time, oh my goodness, I didn't realize how good it would be for my sleep. I didn't realize how good it would be for my overall anxiety. I didn't realize, I can now go for blood tests and feel really nice and relaxed. Going to hospital appointments if they were previously making you nervous or whatever. There is so much benefit, but not just for you and your partner, for your baby too, because your baby feels your state of relaxation and practicing relaxation. And your pregnancy is so beneficial for your baby, because you're basically telling them it's safe to be relaxed. Hey, baby, safe to be relaxed in this world. Who wants a calm, chilled out baby? You all want a calm, chilled out baby. You also want to be a calm, chilled out mum as well. And it's not to say that everything in life is going to be calm and chilled out, but giving you techniques to be able to be calm when you need to be calm, or to how to relax. Your midwife, your LFC will love hypnobirthing. This is an actual picture of a midwife who's done my course with her 2 babies. I have had lots of midwives do my course. They love it. They love it when they support mums in hypnobirthing, and they often do it themselves when they get pregnant. And this is just a quote from one midwife who constantly sends people to courses, but she's one of many midwives who loves hypnobirthing. She just really feels, she says here, empowers women to take control of themselves during their pregnancy and birth. Women and partners enter labour with a much better understanding of the actual process of birth, what the body is doing, and how they can help themselves. To tap into the mind is a wonderful way to help keep birth undisturbed and natural. So yeah, your midwife will love it. Just to share with you, we're nearly at the end of this, and I'm going to take you through a beautiful breathing and relaxation and connection exercise in a moment. But to share with you the options for doing hypnobirthing, I run a variety of course options. Best course to do is the 12.5-hour comprehensive course for couples to do together, which I run online. Live online. There's actually a course starting tomorrow night, which I do have space for a couple more couples on. And I run them live in Auckland. So if you're in Auckland, Albany, St. Luke's, Warkworth is where I run the live in-person courses, live online for anyone in New Zealand. With that, you will get, with the course, you will get this amazing, beautiful book. This is your comprehensive guide to everything that I would love to download into your mind. You'll get these beautiful affirmation cards. Now, just to let you know, also the book's available. If you just want the book, you can go to my website and just buy the book. Affirmation cards, pack of affirmation cards. There's some beautiful cards in here. Once again, they're included in the course. You can buy those off my website. You'll get a folder full of all the scripts, the handouts, the information that you need, and ongoing support. Actually, a lot of people find that really valuable. I don't leave you once you've finished the course, but I will if you don't need me, that's fine. But you know, what if a curveball crops up later on down the track and you need some help, some advice, and just get your mind back on track, or whatever it might be. And so there's ongoing support included in that, Facebook groups and access to other programs and specials that I offer through my, you know, if you're in my Facebook group or on my database. Best time to do the course is sooner rather than later, if you can. Okay. So ideally, if you're at the beginning of your pregnancy, you'd want to start the course around about 20 weeks if you can, 18 to 25 weeks, perfect. Now, if you are at the later stage of your pregnancy, absolutely. If you've got, I run these courses over 3 sessions or 5 sessions, so over 3 weeks or 5 weeks, depending on what location it is. On a Sunday afternoon, we just do three lots of 4 hours, which people love because really nice to do on a Sunday afternoon. In the evenings, run them over 5 sessions. So even if you're at 35 weeks, you'd still have time to be able to enjoy this course. Other options, though, are if you are looking for something different budget, less time, the online recorded course. So even if you were due tomorrow or due next week, 4.5 hours full of really helpful information. So you go to my website, choose the short and sweet course. That's an option for you to be able to do at your own place, at your own pace, however you like. Or the 74 minutes. So the 4.5 hours of the 74 minutes. There's also, if you are looking you just want some breath work, some relaxation, you want to know how to breathe with your body, to work with your body, you want to relax. I am doing a really special course next Thursday evening for 1 hour. So that's at 7:30 next Thursday night. And that's teaching you how to breathe, how to relax, and you take away some audio tracks with that too. Or if you want to do a 1-day workshop in Auckland, I'm taking registrations of interest for this for next month, for May. It's 5 hours, so a couple of hours then break, and it's 5 hours total. And a 1-day workshop on the essentials of preparing for a positive birth. Send me an email and I will, as I said, taking registrations of interest. If you're due, if you were due in 6 weeks' time, or even in 3 or 4 weeks' time, that would be really helpful for you. Also, private sessions, feel free to book a one-on-one session with me if you wanted to cover something specific, personal, in a specific time frame. Yes, I'm happy to take you through a specific fear release or release any trauma that you may have from a previous birth. I use my hypnotherapy skills, tools, knowledge, and that to be able to personalize and make it really effective for you. Or if you want some help with birth planning, preparation, or even just general hypnotherapy. Plus, if you've already got children, check out the Calm Mama course, helping you to emotionally detox and deal with all these emotions that are going on and all the stress and the stuff that goes on in life. So I do run the Calm Mama course as well, which a lot of mums really, really find very, very useful. As I've said, if you just want to buy the book, you can get that on the website. If you just want some affirmation cards, you can get that on my website. If you want to listen to the podcast, go to Spotify and listen to the podcast episodes there. So there's heaps for you at your fingertips. Now tonight, I did promise you there would be a draw. I am going to give away a online positive birth course plus a 60-minute session with me for anyone who wants to now get on their phones, get onto Instagram, DM me, say yes please, and you will go into the draw. So it's only for those of you who are stuck on live. Well done, you've lasted all this time. Well done. Say yes please if you want to win, to go into the draw to win a 60-minute session with me, and we can tee up a time to do that. Plus you'll get the online course as well. And also, now this is really unusual for me. I never ever discount my courses, never. 16 years I've been teaching the course, never discounted it. But tonight, if you decide that you would like to book in for one of my live online, so I've got a live online course starting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Wednesday night. A live in-person course. I've then got one starting in St. Luke's next week. I've got one starting in Albany in a couple of weeks, or you can go onto my website and have a look at the time, at the schedule. If you decide that you would like to book in for one of those, and you don't need to pay in full, okay, so for a live online course, so that's for the 12 hours for ongoing support and everything, you get the book, the folder, all the audio tracks, everything, that is $425, and for in-person it's $455. So $50 off, that's pretty good. It's quite a decent discount, and you don't have to pay in full now. You just have to pay the deposit, $125 or $155, and I'll take $50 off what you owe when the course starts. So if you were due in a few months and you wanted to reserve your place now, get it now, because this I won't. Just because I never have it, I won't again. I've never offered a discount before. It will only be for 24 hours. What are we tonight? Wednesday night. You need to get in before Wednesday night if you'd like that. All you need to do is email me. I think I've got my email. Yeah. helen@positivebirths.co.nz. Okay. So I'm just, I think I've got, yep, cool, awesome. I've got you in my DMs. You guys will be going into the draw. I will draw that tomorrow, and I will announce the winner tomorrow. We are about to enjoy a beautiful relaxation, breathing, connection exercise with baby in a moment. That will last about 10 minutes. Are there any questions that you have before we get into our relaxation? Is there anything more that you would like to know? If there are specific questions that you don't want to ask on here now, feel free to send me an email, and I will answer them by email. If we've got no other questions, I want you to enjoy a wonderful relaxation exercise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to start to find a comfortable space where there's no bright lights shining in on you. And I'm going to attempt to put on some music in the background. Now, sometimes I do find that depending on what, depending on what session I'm running will depend on the volume. Now I'm going to ask you if any of you can hear music in the background, if it's at an okay level and you give me a thumbs up. There should be some music coming through the background. Thumbs up, let me know as well. Awesome, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Wonderful. Always nice to know that you're hearing what I'm hearing. Okay, time for you to connect with baby now. And if you're not pregnant right now, and you'd like to be, you have opportunity for you to just call that baby in. Baby's out there, wanting to come on in. For those of you who are pregnant, just making yourself comfortable. You might like to place your hands on your stomach. Place your hands on your belly around your baby. Just start to become aware of your breath. You might be aware of any movements. Maybe be moving. You might move through this exercise, you may not. I want you to focus on breathing into that stomach. Right, breathing into your belly. Feeling the rise as you inhale, the softening as you exhale. I'm aware of any noises that you can hear both inside and outside of the room. Know that those noises don't need to bother or disrupt you. Just fade into the background. I'm aware of the position of your feet. Notice the fabric that's touching your feet. Notice if one foot is warmer than the other. Shift your attention to your hands. Feeling your hands, your stomach. Noticing the texture of the fabric that your hands are touching. Notice, does one hand feel heavier than the other? Just notice. And returning your focus back to your breath and your breathing. In a moment, we're going to take 3 nice deep breaths. We're going to breathe through the nose, ideally to the count of 4, and exhale a little slower out to the count of 6. As we do that breathing, I want you to really focus on imagining as if you're breathing into your belly. That's right. So as you have your hands on your stomach, you feel a gradual rise of your stomach as you inhale, into a falling or softening of your stomach as you exhale. So here we go now, ready to take a nice deep breath, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, 1, and out, 2, 3, breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Connected with your breath now, just allow your breathing pattern to return to a normal, natural pace. Comfortably, breathing easily. Focus your attention now on those tiny, tiny muscles in and around your eyelids. Imagine all those tiny muscles becoming loose, limp, soft, relaxed. So that your eyelids are very comfortably closed. And allow that same sense of relaxation to drift down over your cheeks. Let go of any expression that's resting on your face. Allow your mouth and jaw to soften, relax. Allow that lower jaw soften right down. Feel that sense of relaxation down through your neck to your shoulders. Just let those shoulders sink to the front of your body and further back into whatever it is that you're resting on. Allow that sense of relaxation to drift all the way down through your arms to your head. Sense of relaxation drifting all the way down through your cheek, around your stomach, around your womb, around your baby. So it's time now to connect in with your baby. Every breath now, get the idea of directing all of your love down and into your baby. Right. Focus on the idea of growing baby inside their little home here. This perfect, beautiful baby. I want you to take a moment now to appreciate all you have already achieved. Miraculous process of conception. Appreciate how life was formed and is still developing and growing. The body is remarkable. Creation of life, incredible. I want you to celebrate the stage of pregnancy you're at. It's early, it's later on. Each and every day, this is a miracle occurring right inside of you. Send a beautiful wave of love to the baby. You know, prenatal researchers discovered that a baby's awareness starts very, very early on in pregnancy. Baby has a very basic, but still a level of awareness, a level of consciousness. Do you know what all these prenatal researchers agreed on? The most important thing for your baby to know and feel, that you know they're in there, and they're wanted, they're loved. You can spend a moment, send that message to your baby silently. Hey baby, we know you're in there. Wanted, you're loved. baby has chosen you as their parents. Baby trusts you. Baby knows that you are doing the best job in every way you can to facilitate their development, their arrival into the world. Growing and birthing a baby is truly one of the greatest transformational experiences in life. Your body has an innate wisdom, knows how to grow a baby, knows how to birth a baby. Baby too. They know what to do. To trust this process. Trust yourself. Your hands still on your belly. I want you to connect to that wise, knowing part of you. Part of you that's intuitive. The wisest part of you has guided you here tonight to receive this information, to help you on your journey. Your baby is very happy for you to have been here tonight. They want to connect in with you. This pregnancy and birth is an experience that you journey through together. Together, the two of you can work harmoniously, symbiotically, fully connected. This is your baby's birth as well as yours. Both share this experience. Do you feel the love and marvel at this miracle of life? You're in a deeply connected state now. Take a moment to thank your baby for choosing you. Thank your baby for coming to you. If there's any special messages you wish to pass to baby, silently send these now. Be open to receiving any messages from baby now too. Trust the path that you're being led towards. Don't let fear and anxiety stop you from doing something great. Connect in with that knowing in your heart that you will give your baby the best possible opportunity for the best possible birth in whatever circumstances. Because you are preparing for this beautiful event that you're about to go through. To receive, meet this little one. You're safe. Your baby is safe. You are secure. You're well supported. Trust your body's innate wisdom to do what you know it to do. So bring your awareness back onto your breath now. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Let a deep sigh out. And once again, a nice deep breath in through your nose. And a deep sigh all the way out. Last deep breath in and out. Feeling a beautiful sense of energy begin to flow through your entire body. Knowing that you can connect with your baby anytime you choose. your awareness, noticing the room around you. Ready? Your eyes, bit of a stretch, bit of a move. And as we leave tonight, if you do have any final questions, please feel free to be able to email me or send me a message via Instagram. And I really hope if I don't connect with you again between now and the time that your baby arrives, and I wish for you beautiful, calm, relaxed, empowered, and positive birth experience. I wish for you the best experience that you can have. And if there's anything I can help and support you with, I would love to support you. Then I would love to be able to meet you in person or online or however it may be, but I'd love to be able to connect with you more. Please feel free to reach out if there are any questions, anything else you'd like to ask. Just helen@positivebirths.co.nz. But otherwise, I'm sending you many, many positive birthing wishes. Thank you for being here tonight. See you later.